Call the August 12th, 2021 Hays City Commission meeting to order at 6:30. All 5 commissioners are present. Review of the minutes. Any considerations?
None? Good.
Citizen comments. Do I have some citizens to comment? No. Okay. I have an add-on for the consent agenda. It'll be for approval at the August 26th meeting. It is two different appointments. One to the Care Council. It's a renewal for Kayla Lannon for another 2-year term, and this will be her 6th term. She has really been wonderful on that. We have a first-year term on the Hays Housing Authority Board. Janet Klaus has applied for the 4-year term on that. So that'll be to vote on August 26th. No. Okay. Were you guys here to talk about Oktoberfest?
Yeah, I thought Melissa put us on there.
You're actually not on the agenda, but you can certainly, let's step back to citizen comments, and you can do it right then. Okay. How's that? Thank you.
Yep.
That's why I was looking at you. I think they're going to get up. But
When I talked to her, I thought she put us on there.
No. Thank you for coming, though.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Philip Kuhn, and I'm the president of Oktoberfest. And I just want to take some time this evening to tell you about Oktoberfest this year. You do have some packets in front of you, and I'll go over those here shortly. I want to start out by introducing some people that are actually on the board with us. Tom Leopard, who's in charge of our sponsorship, and Janelle Moore, who's our historian. They're here with us tonight. I wanted to start out by thanking the Commission and the City of Hays for their support and guidance through our revised Oktoberfest last year, and their understanding for why we did what we did. And so that was, that being last year, we learned a lot about ourselves, and we grew our partnerships with our local businesses, which really helped get us to where we're at today. We actually have more sponsorship through this year coming into Oktoberfest 2021. So it was interesting, and we learned a lot, but that's in the past, so we're moving forward. We're excited. That being said, Oktoberfest 2021 will be held October 1st and 2nd this year. And we'll be going back to our normal event of being 2 days, because really prior to, not last year, but the year before, that was our first year of doing a 2-day event. And we saw a lot of success in that, so we're gonna go back to that. The first day will consist of the opening ceremony, tapping of the keg, and some wonderful entertainment over the course of the day. It's also important that I note that we're encouraging nonprofit organizations to sign up to vend any goods for the festival. That's really what our focus is, on trying to raise money for nonprofits. If they want to sign up for that, they can surely do that through oktoberfesthays.com, our website. The second day is homecoming for Fort Hays. So in collaboration with them, we will be starting our second day of the festival right after their parade. It was really cool seeing that 2 years ago. I was actually standing up. They said, "Philip, we need you to introduce the second day." And I was like, I don't want to be on stage at all. But I got up there, and it was really neat to see the entire parade just funnel into Municipal Park and just see all of those people. So we'll have that again, and it'll be filled again with entertainment, food. And the second day is really geared towards families, for people to come down. We heard over the years that Friday, we used to be able to shut down the city, and that's just no longer feasible with commerce. So having the second day really allows more people in our community to come down and really enjoy the event. I know 2 years ago I stood up here and we briefly talked about the economic impact. And so I wanted to reiterate some of that information. Actually, Melissa Dixon, who is our community liaison for Oktoberfest, and with her partnerships was able to get some information about what Oktoberfest does for our community. So, like I said, in front of you, you have some packets. And really this data goes for tracking the mobile devices and credit cards of people coming into Hayes from 50 plus miles. So on the first sheet, you can kind of see that 72% of guests coming in are coming in from the state of Kansas. But you can also see that just in our borderline states that a lot of people are coming over and attending our festival. So that's great for our community. And on the third page, we have visitors by city. We have a lot of draw from Wichita, Dodge City area, Overland Park, and the Topeka. And again, these numbers, I should say, are tracked from, again, mobile devices, credit cards, also hotel stays. So this isn't tracking anyone that's coming back and staying with their families or friends, and there are a lot of people that do that. Hotel occupancy rises to about 70%, which is really good for our community, for our partnerships with our businesses. Basically, in short, you can see that by having this festival, everybody is successful. So that's great to see there. So with that all being said, I'd also like to thank our sponsors for this year. We've had so many great organizations, local businesses, community members that put their time, talent, and resources into making Oktoberfest possible. And not only that, it really is the premier festival in Western Kansas. So that being said, we're happy and we are excited for Oktoberfest for this year. And we would also like to note that next year, we're already looking towards our 50th anniversary of having Oktoberfest in Hayes. So we're already planning and looking forward to that as well too. So again, thank you. And if there is any questions, I'll go ahead and field them now.
We're just very excited to have it happening again.
Yeah.
This is nice information to have. It's always nice to tell people what kind of impact these things happen. So we appreciate you putting that together. We appreciate you coming tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
guys. Thank you.
Now I'll move on. Item 5 on the agenda. Sarah Wassinger is here to talk to us a little bit about the Chamber of Commerce Kansas Community Health Plan.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to come speak to you about this today. My name is Sarah Wassinger, President, CEO of the Chamber in Hayes, and we started this process probably back in 2019, working on trying to get a community health plan for Hayes alone and for our Chamber member businesses. And really during that process, had a lot of businesses interested in that, and once 2020 happened and our global health pandemic hit, a lot of businesses shared that maybe now is not the right time to switch health insurance. So we kind of stopped our efforts after that go around. And once the health of our community really started to pick back up again, we had a lot of folks asking, well, we'd like to get involved in that chamber health plan. What does that look like? What are the costs? And how do we help save money on our health insurance? So we were very excited to continue with our partnership. Joshua Sapp is the president, CEO of Heartland Benefits Group. And so he has really been our kind of benefits broker, if you will, and helping us through this process. So we've decided to partner with him again. We are not by ourselves, so there were many other chambers of commerce across the state of Kansas who were trying similar initiatives and were also unsuccessful. So with the spirit of collaboration in mind, we have kind of really joined forces and partnered together. So as of today, we have 10 total chambers of commerce across the state who are in this pool, if you will. And the name of this group is called Chamber of Kansas Community Health Plan. Our chamber in Hayes will actually be the mother chamber, if you will, kind of housing the plan, but it will be underneath the umbrella of the Chamber of Kansas Community Health Plan. Larned's Chamber, Spring Hill, Paola, Phillipsburg, Norton, Gardner, Edgerton, Coffeyville, Iola, and Northeast Johnson County are all a part of this as well. And we are still waiting to find out from Pittsburgh if they will be participating in the plan too. So the plan is governed by an insurance board. It's important to note that each of the chambers of commerce who are participating in this plan have 2 different board directors who help govern this plan. Their goal is to ensure that we have cost contingencies and different strategies in place to make sure that year over year we don't see a lot of cost escalation. We also have the presidents or executive directors of the chambers of commerce involved in those meetings. That's more for information sharing, so we can ensure that we are communicating the plan and everything of that nature to our businesses. With that being said, this will be a bonded plan. The bonds will be actually run through Hayes, and the finances will all be run through Hayes. We will actually go to a bidding process to elicit the services of a banking institution in town to cover the cost and all of the income for the plan.
Sarah, excuse me, on the 2 board members that'll be part of the board, your 2 board members, will that change every year?
It could, it could not. Currently, and I should share, that's a great question, Sandy. We have Brian Brady from First Care Clinic. He's the president, CEO. We also have George Harms from Hayes Med, who are currently serving. We do believe that those are 2 wonderful ties, and it's important for them to understand what's going on with
They
this
might
plan.
stay on their whole term they're on your board.
Potentially. So George is not currently a board member for our chamber. He's just a community member serving as our kind of assignee, if you will. Any other questions before I move along? Okay. So I guess the meat and potatoes of the plan is really probably what most people are excited about. So these are the different levels and coverages. I won't go through everything as you can kind of see it, but it will include a in-network, out-of-network model like many models. There is single, family, and co-insurance options. Obviously, as you go from Plan A to Plan B, those amounts do get more expensive. And we also have a Plan C, which will be for folks who maybe don't need as much health insurance, but they still want to have some coverages. So with that, this does cover some preventative care. We also have primary care built in. Specialists will be included. And then urgent care and emergency room visits will also be a part of the plan. And mind you, all of this information will be on Facebook as well as the Chamber's website starting Monday. We have just a few more details that we really need to iron out before we get that posted, but we wanted to kind of share this with you first. And then prescription obviously is important for health insurance too. So there will be 2 different plan options. You can pick either plan depending on which Plan A or Plan B you have for the health insurance side of things. So 2080 coinsurance will be for the first plan. The second plan will have that as well. The difference that you'll see between the 2 is that specialty prescriptions are not a part of Plan 2. One important thing of note as well, we are going to be working with different drug manufacturers for different copays and programs that they have to offset the cost of specialty drugs. So there are rebates from manufacturers a part of that. So those rebates will actually go back directly to our pool, which also helps us build up some income to help cover the cost of the plan. So really this plan is going to be accessible to any business, nonprofit, government entity. The only requirement that you really have to have is that you're a member of our chamber, one of the participating chambers. We would hope that if we have Hayes businesses, of course, that they would choose us as the chamber that they would belong to. And then they have to be a member in good standing for 60 days before the plan starts. So that start date would be January 1 of 2022. So really how businesses can kind of get involved in this process is if this is of interest to you, we would encourage you to definitely pay attention to the chamber website. We will be doing some press releases and sharing some information. We've already started a list of businesses who are interested in this, and I can tell you that number is over 25 now. So there is a lot of vested interest currently within current members as well as prospective members. But every full-time employee will be required to fill out an initial medical questionnaire. That process is pretty quick. It takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and that really is dependent upon how many prescriptions you might be on or how many different medical conditions that you have to share. Once this process is done, we would go ahead and send this off for bid. So the IMQs will be accessible through September of 2021. And then Josh Sapp, our benefits broker, will be working with different national providers and local providers too if they're interested in bidding out the plan. Once the plans are bid out, we would share and disclose the cost for the plans to the businesses who participate in that process. So the nice thing about this plan is that if you put your information in there and you get the cost back and you say, this isn't going to save my business money, you still have time to pull yourself out. You don't have to join the plan, so it truly is a zero obligation plan, which we feel is very important because we want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable with that process. So another important item of note is that vision and dental coverage will be a part of this, and the effective date, as I said, is January 1st of 2022. A few items of note are we'll have to have a minimum 65% participation from full-time employees. So let's say your business has 10 employees and 3 of them happen to be on a spouse's health plan. They could actually sign a waiver to where you would have to have 65% of those 7 employees participating in the plan in order to qualify. And then claims will be paid out by a contracted claims administrator, and we would be going through Corporate Plan Management. They're a company based out of Kansas. Really, most of the partners that we have in this program will have ties to Kansas just to make sure that we are kind of keeping everything local and supporting one another. And then it's important to also know that this is a welfare benefit plan that's established and follows all IRS codes, and it's applicable for all Department of Labor regulations. We do have some opportunities to learn more about this. I am definitely not a health insurance expert by any means. That's not my day-to-day job. So there are different times. We know that business owners need a variety of times. So you can visit our chamber website for the links for these Q&A sessions. It will be held virtually via Zoom, as we're having these for 10 different communities across the state, so that's the easiest way to get everybody together at one time. So August 17th at 9:30, August 19th at 6 p.m., August 25th at 12:30, and August 30th at 2:30 p.m. And we also have the link there just in case anybody wants to go ahead and check out all of those dates. I know that was kind of a lot of information very quickly, but if you have any questions, I would stand for them.
Just have one question. Is it just for full-time employees?
That's a great question, Sean. Yes, at this point in time, it is just for full-time employees.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Thank you, Sarah. It was very informative. And thank you for sticking with it. I know there's a lot of businesses going to be very grateful for this process.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Crispin, we'd like to hear about manhole rehabilitation, please.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. Jeff Crispin. I'm the Director of Water Resources. Tonight, I am presenting the 2021 Manhole Rehabilitation Program. This is our 4th consecutive year of professionally rehabilitating sanitary sewer manholes, and we intend to bring this to you each year. And as you can see that on our CIP and within the budget, we will be doing so. This year, this project is to perform rehab of up to 46 manholes. That's with our base project that have been crumbling or soft concrete within the manhole. The locations include Lincoln Draw, which is north of 33rd, right up here, and we have some other visuals to show you that's a little bit closer. The field south of 27th Street and west of Inglewood. Then we have, I guess I could learn how to run the pointer. Let's go back here. And then on the top right, that is General Custer north of 22nd Street. And then on the bottom right, that is north of 13th Street along General Custer. And like I said, I have some closer visuals to show you here. The photo on the left is Lincoln Draw. That's between 33rd and 41st Street at the top. The photo on the right, that is General Custer between 22nd Street and 27th Street, just south of the Casey's General Store there on 27th. The photo on the left is the close-up version of south of 27th Street, west of Inglewood. It goes down to about 11th Street and then goes over to the Hall Elm Street intersection over there. Those run along kind of the draw there behind TMP. And then the 3 that are on the right, those are on General Custer between 17th and 19th Street, just north of 13th and General Custer. Manholes that in the sanitary sewer system are degrading due to the following reasons, just to name a few: hydrogen sulfide, loose material, debris, oil, and grease, loss of mortar and brick manholes, concrete failure, physical damage, infiltration and inflow, and also erosion. Why are those manholes important? They allow us access to sanitary sewer systems for cleaning and for maintenance. Failure can lead to a block in the line and cause overflow of sewage. The city does not have equipment to deal with deep manhole failure, or deep failures of our sewer system, and people and vehicles can be harmed in the event of a collapse. So what does this project address? As you can see there, the concrete or brick structure of the manhole will be addressed. And then also typically if we have to do any work with an iron ring or lid of that manhole, we would. But the majority of the manholes that we've been working on the past 4 years have all been in grassy areas, so they typically don't get run over. They don't have any structural damage, so we rarely have to replace those with our projects. This is a photo of before rehab. As you can see on the bottom of it, there's concrete that is degraded on the sides and it's working its way down to the bottom of that manhole and it's fallen to the bottom. Concrete, as I had mentioned, or anything that's fallen in a manhole can cause backups with the sewer, and we do not want those things to happen. This is a photo of after rehab. Basically, they remove the loose material on the sides and then reline the side of it with a minimum of 1 inch thick of fiber reinforced cement-like material. Restoration of a smooth surface, and you can see it's pretty smooth on that photo right there. Taking care of any missing brick or similar voids, stoppage of leaks. Additional treatment may be applied to manholes, and on average, we have seen about 25% of our manholes do require an additional coating. It could be a polymer, an epoxy, a geocrete. There's some different things that are out there that are available to get us some better coverage on those manholes. The sewer remains in service. We don't take anything out of service. We would inspect the project in-house like we have in the past few years. And then the workmanship warranty for materials is a period of 1 year. This is a history of what we've completed so far. 30 and 18, 50 and 19, 20 and 50 and 19, 46 and 20, and another 46 is our goal in 2021, but we could possibly be doing some other manholes, and we'll get to that in just a second. There are 2,400 manholes in the city of Hayes. Completing about 50 per year would allow us a 50-year cycle, which is basically what is recommended by the industry to be professionally rehabilitated. And it's an industry standard, basically. If we complete only a 46 this year, a total of 172 in 4 years will be completed. The bids came in. Mayor Specialty Services was the apparent low bid at $74,550. Staff has verified the bid price and the material. Mayor Specialty Services is competent and experienced in this project. They completed our 2019 and 2020 projects, and their work was excellent. The plan is to complete 600 feet of vertical manholes. So basically you take all your manholes and you go, one might be 10 feet, one might be 11 feet, and that all adds up to 600 vertical feet. And the base product is called MS2A. And then of those 600 feet, we have about 150 feet of that vertical feet that needs to have that additional type of treatment. So 75% of the time you apply the MS2A, 25% of the time you have to apply something else. Again, we're requesting to spend up to our budgeted amount of $100,000. Based on the budget request and the bids, we could rehab an additional 12 manholes within this project by using that budget. So for financial consideration, we budgeted $100,000 in the 2021 repairs and maintenance line item, and we are requesting to spend up to that $100,000. So tonight, your options are to award this to Mayor Specialty Services or provide us an alternate direction. And this is the action that I would request. And I would stand for any questions as well.
I move we authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Mayor Specialty Services to complete the 2021 manhole rehabilitation program with a budget not to exceed $100,000 to be funded from the repairs and maintenance line item in the water reclamation and reuse budget.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Reuter, seconded by Commissioner Burgess. Any other questions, comments? Oh, Jeff, I really feel bad. I just looked at his face.
I just can't believe how everybody leaves when you start talking about manholes. Every week.
It's
okay.
out the door.
It's okay.
But, something I would like to say, I know it's not real exciting when we talk about manholes, but our commitment to infrastructure, you hear that nationwide right now, is we budget this for ever since I've been on the commission, and we pay for it every year. And that's something that we all should be very proud of. And, it's not very exciting, but it sure is nice when it works. And I appreciate what you've done with this.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Jeff, I had a good question for you. When they're completed and rehabilitated, is there anything that we do as staff for preventative maintenance, or is it just rehabilitated, don't touch it again until it reaches that point?
We rehabilitate it, but we after it's rehabilitated, we do an inspection. We do post-inspection just to make sure that, obviously if we have a 1-year warranty, within that, we want to make sure that nothing has failed. So we go back and periodically look at those manholes to make sure they're meeting up to those specifications. But I had mentioned, I believe last week, that I've done some inspection, looking at some of the inspections that we've had on sewer lines before, and they would drive through some of these and they'd look up always at the manhole. And I've seen a lot of the rehab manholes from 3 years ago that are in great shape. So yeah, we do some post-inspection.
Okay, great, thank you.
Neil? Not, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commission comments? Commissioner Musil?
Yeah, I just want to welcome all the Fort Hays State students back to Hays, and we'll have as close to normal year as possible. And I want to applaud all the teachers. I've talked to many of them the last few weeks, and they're all concerned because it's going to be different this year, but they're all excited to have maybe a normal year with the kids. So it's we got a lot of excitement going on in this town, and it's just hopefully we can keep it going and watch out for little kids. They're going to be everywhere, buses and stuff. So just be careful when you're driving.
I have nothing this evening, thank you.
Mr. Burgess?
Yeah, I just wanted to welcome all the students back, and I think most of the kids are probably looking forward to getting back into school. Now I got my books ordered, and I'm ready to do some learning, so we're ready to go.
Very good. Absolutely exciting to get everybody back, and I'm sure our commerce, the community retailers are glad to have people back that are ready to go to work, and that's a really good thing for the community. We don't need an executive session.
No.
We're done. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Sammy, we canceled the meeting, so we can stay here.